This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity Podcast. Thank you for joining us today. At any time that you have comments or questions, always feel free to text me at 773-766-5322. We'd love to hear your thoughts. So today's concept is cash is king plus three other business concepts. And this is today's topic. So the first concept is cash is king. In business today, with so many companies having so much leverage, there's so much of this discussion of EBITDA versus cash flow. And at the end of the day, anybody that's ever run a small or medium-sized business knows that EBITDA is a nice acronym and can be meaningful. But at the end of the day, businesses run on cash flow. So whether you're running a business, you've got debt on that business, you're looking at different stats, cash can lie. But at the end of the day, cash and cash flow is a much better predictor of how you're doing than anything else. So EBITDA is nice. The finance people love EBITDA, but cash is king. And never to forget to watch the EBITDA and the cash flow, because making payroll, making payments relies on cash flow, not EBITDA. So that's concept number one. The second concept that we'll talk about is one that we talk about often, and I'm reminded of it constantly, is that great partners are everything. That if you want to be successful in business, at the end of the day, there are some iconic leaders, but none of them did it by themselves. Nobody does it without great teammates and great people with them. Today, I've got the great pleasure of recording with our podcast partners, Kate Cruz and Chanel Bunger. And this is just one example. Nothing gets done without great partners. Great partner in one business, Jessica Cole at Becker's Healthcare, another partner in law, Amber Walsh, Holly Buckley, and others. But nothing gets done without great partners in anything you do. And I think it's true of almost any endeavor, anything you're trying to do, whether it's sports, it's business, it's anything, it's raising children, it's having a family, whatever it is, almost nothing gets done without a village, without great partners, not to steal from Hillary Clinton and so forth. So that's the second concept. And it doesn't mean that but at the end of the day, most things are done and nobody does it greatly without partners and help and others. That's the second concept today. The third concept comes from our discussion with Tim Tebow yesterday. And this is a concept around comebacks and setbacks going hand in hand. So resilience, you can't have resilience. You can't have comebacks without setbacks. So in anything that you're doing in life, you're going to have setbacks. And one of the great concepts is to value those setbacks versus to view them as permanent, because you can't have comebacks. The greatest thing in life, quite frankly, is to win when being down. There's a great phrase by Paul Azinger, the pro golfer who suffered from cancer, saying that the best outcomes are those that come after challenges. You're defined by how you come back from challenges. And this concept, setbacks and comebacks, really resonates with me. Resilience is everything. And you can't have greatness, at least I've never seen it, without some setbacks, without some challenges and so forth. The fourth concept today that we're talking about from a business perspective is, and again, part of this is taken from some of the discussions we had with Tim Tebow yesterday as a keynote speaker at the Becker's Health IT meeting, is this concept of it's easy to get up for the big game. It's easy to get for the big meeting. You've got a meeting with your most important customer. You've got a meeting with a great prospect. You've got a meeting with your most important teammate. It better be easy to get up for those things. But real winners are defined by how they do every single day in preparing themselves for all those things. So the person that can get up for the meeting with the less important customer, the person who can get up and play great in the less important game. Well, we've always watched, serious amateur tennis and have coached tennis. And somebody wants to find it for me as there's matches you should win, there's matches you should lose, and there's the in-between matches. And the easy thing is to get up when you're playing a great challenger or somebody that's seated higher than you, who's a better player than you. The great challenge is how well can you stay grinding against players that aren't as good as you, and how well can you compete in those middle matches and trying to look at those things. So this concept of, yes, it's easy to get up for the big matches, but can you perform and can you practice hard when it's not a big match, when it doesn't matter, when it doesn't count? Those are some of the concepts for today. And again, we hope we didn't overstay or stay out of our lane too far here, but 4 key concepts. Cash flow is king, not EBITDA. EBITDA is important, but cash flow is everything. Second, resilience and setbacks are what forms comebacks and greatness. Third, this concept is everything is better in a team or a partnership almost everything. I've seen few examples. I had the chance to get a victory recently with my colleague, Alan Cole. I couldn't do it without him, who's a better player than I am. This concept of constantly doing better with partners, doing better with teams. And then finally, this concept of, can you get up day to day to perform even when it's not the big game, when it doesn't matter like that? That, I think, is part of what defines greatness. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity Podcast. Thank you to our podcast team, Chanel Bunger and Kate Cruz, who are with us today. Thank you very much.